All right. Okay. So I imagine folks on my stream will not have too much question about what's going on since I was just training Francisco an hour ago. So they're probably expecting that we would show up here. I told them to expect it. So hey, Alvin and everybody else, we're back on. We're going to do another session for 1.5 to 2 hours here with Cash. And we're going to probably focus mostly on tactics, at least for the first hour, and then we'll see where we go from there. And hi to everybody over on Cash's stream.
Hey, no one here yet, but yeah.
Okay, so you were just telling me about the training, and you said you were doing puzzles on chess.com, which I'm somewhat familiar with. And then you were saying that there was also something like rep.
Yeah, it's a site. It's called Chess Reps. I see it a lot advertised on like just chess creators on like short form content. So I figured, let me just check it out. So it's a very cheap monthly subscription, and essentially you just practice openings in various positions.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have a cool feature that I like where it does puzzles specific to openings. So for example, if I'm drilling Scotch, they have various puzzles that I can drill that I would most commonly find, or positions I would most commonly find in that particular opening.
That seems nice. We've been thinking of doing that with some puzzles on Chess Dojo, so I am in favor of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm impressed with them for doing that. So they're called Chess Reps. Oh, they're telling me I've got echo. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, let me know if I'm echoing too. I don't have headphones in, but I can adjust the.
Now, if I do this on my side, it'll work, at least on my stream. Okay. So the site's called Chess Reps, huh? Like repetitions?
Correct. Yep.
Cool. All right. That sounds great. And so that's largely training your opening, but it's also kind of like solving little puzzles in a sense.
Yeah, correct. And they have various features where you can like practice games on your opening, and then I think it's just an AI bot opponent, but they'll do like common moves and they'll throw you off with just some things around your elo, and you raise your elo, and they start playing more perfect. I would say are the best moves more frequently, and then so it assesses you based on just the most optimal move in that situation or the computer rating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, clever thing. So and you were telling me when you're doing the chess.com puzzles, you've gone up a couple hundred points, and in terms of your tactics elo, and that the puzzles are taking you 30 to 45 seconds, which is pretty reasonable. Pretty close to what we're looking for at this level, because that's about how long you might calculate on a tactical move in a 10-minute game. So, so that seems pretty well calibrated. But I would still like to also see the whole thing in action, just to see how it works for you.
Okay.
So I think for that we might have to do like a little screen share or something for a moment, so I could sort of like kind of watch over your shoulder while you solve some puzzles.
Let's see. Let me figure out how to do this. I might have to do it on a separate, because I'm working with two PCs right now. The one I'm talking to you on doesn't have the chess on it. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, I might be able to do this. Let me see. I go here. Share screen. Let's see. Maybe I can join the call again on this PC and share from there under a different name. I think that'd be better. Go here.
Oh, that's true. Hukudanode, I'm not sure how to say that, says that since you're streaming, I can just watch on your stream, and that'll
Oh,
work
true. I
perfectly.
mean, there might be a little delay, but
It'll be a couple second delay, but I'll get to see the whole thing.
okay. Yeah, sure. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Might be a little better. Let me try this first just to see if it'll. Yeah, that might be the better option for now, and then I can figure this out for next time.
All right. Oh yeah, I want to turn off the sound and then watch. Perfect. Okay, folks. If you want to head over to Cash's stream for a little bit to watch his tactics. Whoops, no, sorry, I have to hit shout out. There's a link to his stream, so you'll be able to watch along with me.
Oh, here we go. I got it. I joined this meeting on a different computer, and then I can. Let's see. If you allow me in on this computer, Cash 2, then I can share my screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Mute here.
I've got all kinds of windows all over the place now.
Okay, sure. I'll just mute this. Okay, good. And then share screen. Here, share. And now can you see?
Yep.
Awesome. Just set you up here.
Wow, that whole thing is your chess.com view. I was kind of confused with the kitten and all, but I get it.
Yeah, you can set a custom background, and then so I just set mine as my cat.
Right.
Okay. So let's go to it.
Wow,
Some
and there's
puzzles here.
like chess boards all over your cat's face and all. All right, folks, let me
All right.
fix the capture here briefly, but there we go.
Okay.
Let me just make
So,
Cash big here for a moment.
all right. Do you want me to talk out my thought process here, or just kind of solve it?
No, just do what you normally do, and we'll rely on mind reading, which normally works for me.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, folks, the window capture will be a little bit confusing for a moment, but you can see the chessboard. You can see a couple of our faces, maybe too many, but
Sorry, you need me to adjust anything?
no, nothing on your end. I'm just not going to do a good job of adjusting it on my side. Okay.
Let's see. Why not? Oh no, what? Oh, here's okay. There we go. All right, nice.
Choice of pieces. What's the 189,000 number mean?
I don't know. I think that's a score I get from just doing puzzles in general.
So that one is sort of like cumulative as opposed to going up or down when you get things right or wrong. It just keeps
Correct.
track of how much work
the
you
ELO
put in.
is at the bottom here, the 1977. This is just total puzzle points that like level you up, I think.
And do you feel like as you've gone up a couple hundred points in the puzzle ELO that the puzzles have gotten harder? Do they track up and down with you?
Sort of. My only critique about the chess.com puzzles is like, and I don't know if this comes with just playing at a higher elo, because once I get around the 2,000 range for puzzles, like there's a significant increase in the amount of like sacrifice puzzles that they have here. And I don't know how frequent I'm going to be encountering that many sacrifices. So when I was doing these prior, I felt like I was almost getting in a bad habit of looking to sack a piece or something, which is cool. It's fun, but like I don't necessarily know that's a good habit to get into.
Right. For you, games are more about like catching a hanging piece at some point. I mean,
Exactly.
hanging or via tactic, right? Via two-move attack or skewer or something.
Oops. Yep. Let's see. I mean, here. That's not good. Okay, I don't like that. See, at this point, about a minute in, then I would probably click hint and
Sounds
then
good.
look through it. But let me see here. Why not two pieces there? Nope. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna click hint and see what's going on. You can play checkmate here. Take your time. Okay. Oh God, dude, it's so okay. Once you see it, it's so easy.
Mm-hmm. That's how it is in chess, yeah.
Mm.
And until you see it, it's so impossible.
Here, 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 here. Right? Probably. Okay. Um, I don't like that, but I'm not. Oh, I think I can do that. Yep. Okay, good. Here is what you block here, then. Oh, why not check here? You take no. Here, check, block here. No. I mean, I can win 2 for 1, so maybe that's it. Let's do it. Okay. Why is that? And that's another thing about the chess.com puzzles. I feel like that doesn't play out all the way.
Mm. Here it's because that
Um,
knight can't move.
oh, yeah, it's pinned. True, true, true. Whoopsie, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me internalize this real quick.
Nice.
Okay. And then, but you still can block, but I take and I win queen. Okay. Check here, down here. Do I want to go here first, then here? But I feel like am I in danger? Let's see. You can check, but I mean this seems nice, but let's see. So check here, down here. Here you take, so not great. So why not this first and this? Okay, good. And take here. Here. Check, takes, no. Here, this is pinned, so you can't take back, but you just take. Oh no, here, queen here. Good. Mm, check, check. Here, then here, maybe. Let's go here. Then here. Like, I feel like this is smother mate-ish, but not really. Um,
So you've seen the pattern with the famous like queen sack knight smothered mate.
yeah, but it should. If I do this right,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen the pattern, but I don't think it does. It work here? I don't think so, right?
You would
Oh wait, maybe.
you would first need the knight to be in range.
True, true. Okay. But if I do this, queen takes, I go here, and that doesn't work. So maybe just check. Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So in this case, the fork is enough, and you take the queen, right?
Yeah.
The smothered mate works if it's a rook that has to take, but when it's the queen that takes, she'll always defend f7, right? So that's why you can't do the mate on that one.
Yep. Yep. True. True. Okay. Here, threaten queen. Maybe let's look for checks first. Check here. Here for, and that's mate, right? Okay.
Indeed.
Someone in my chat said your patience has to be admired.
Bawan diplom.
Okay.
Easy to be patient when you're having fun.
I mean, I like this. Let's look for something better, maybe. Here you run, and I think I just do. No, okay, never mind. Okay, all right, yeah,
Okay, pause for 1 second. So that
yeah.
would be a
Sorry.
good one to repeat a couple times, like you did on an earlier one. If there's one that you don't
Mm-hmm.
get it right on your first
Mm-hmm.
try, then when you see the answer, just play through the answer again 2 or 3 times real quick to just kind of imprint it, remember it better.
Gotcha, gotcha. Is
Because
there any way to go back on the puzzles, like the previous puzzle?
I don't know if there is now. Um,
Gotcha.
but yeah, that was like an unusual pattern where the queen checkmates the king basically by herself, just in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
The flight squares are blocked off by his own pieces, I think. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I asked a question about this more so, like I guess sort of related to this puzzle, but like material advantage versus positional advantage, and how to evaluate what's better at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess puzzles like this would definitely help with that.
So puzzles like this are always going to have sort of a specific answer, like checkmate or winning a bunch of pieces. On the chess.com puzzles, it'll never be like, and now you have a good position, right? It's always something
Mm-hmm.
like really clear, like taking a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in real games, it's very hard to say when a long-term sacrifice is good. Like when is a position so much better than another position that it's worth it to be down a piece just to have that good position, or worth it to be down a few pawns. It's like a very, very tricky, complicated question in chess, and we can definitely talk about it next month if you'd like.
Yeah,
I'd love to introduce that to you, especially since you have some kind of interest in the verb of sacrificing. But the first step to it is to just occasionally play like gambits and then sacrifices, just to start getting your own
mm-hmm.
feel for it. Just like, if you wanted to get better at end games, you'd have to play some end games, right? And then
Yeah.
you get better. So the first trick to anyone out there who wants to get a little better understanding of when a good position outweighs being down some material is like try it out sometimes. You see an option in one of your games, you're like, I could sack this pawn to keep their king in the center. Is that worth it? Well, sometimes just try the thing you're wondering about, and then
Mm-hmm.
you sort of gradually form an opinion.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Mm, Here, no. Let's see. Like my first thought here is I want to get the king here for a fork,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
let's see. How can I even do that? Maybe I want to trade queens. Take. Check here. King moves here or here, but if king moves here, then what happens? Then I go up back top, you move down here. So here probably. If you move here, then I fork and I win. If you move here, then what? Then I go here, mate. Okay, that makes sense. So check, blocks, here, here. Okay, nice.
Nice. So that was something that happens very rarely in tactics, which is there was a pattern that you didn't see immediately, and you kept looking, and eventually you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare. Normally, if we can't find something, we sort of never find it until someone shows it to us. but you had a plan about like if I could get the king here, you had a thought about that f7 square, and since there weren't too many pieces on the board, you eventually found a way to make your thing work.
Yeah, yeah. I find myself struggling with long diagonal checks often, especially with the queen. I get too hyper focused on this one area where all the action's happening, but
Yeah.
again, just gotta step back and take a look.
Yeah, it's a little weird that some of the long range pieces like bishop, queen, and rook, and queen the most so because it can do like a rook move to then make a diagonal threat, or it can make a diagonal move to make a sideways threat. But the really long range moves are sometimes a little confusing because like you're trying to aim at a king on the king side, but you moved all the way to the queen side, and it's normal for us to kind of look in the direction we're going.
Okay, let's see. And when I'm doing these puzzles, is there a general? So I'm just going through checks, captures, attacks. Should I look at, prioritize looking at what they're threatening first?
Yeah, if you wanna take a 1 minute break, we could talk about it because I've seen you at work for a little bit now, and I have an idea on that subject.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I think that I see you when you first get into the position. The first thing you look at is you look at all the kind of like boom, boom, boom kind of moves for you, right? Checks, captures, in the face of the king kind of moves, right? That kind of stuff. Very direct moves. You start looking at them very, very quickly, and it's nice that you've got a bunch of moves jumping out at you already, because I'm sure that 6 months ago that was not the case. That stuff was just like there for you at your fingertips. I think that there's another level coming either now or soon where you can look around for weak spots, and then, or more general than weak spots, there are a whole variety of things which are what I would call tactical weaknesses. So you can look around your opponent's camp and spot things that are potential tactical weaknesses, and then from that work backwards to finding some more possible moves for yourself. So that would be undefended pieces, pieces that can't move, right? Like, for example, in this position, there's a rook on h1 or a bishop on f1. They don't have a lot of movement, right? So sometimes you look for like a piece that, it can't really move very much, and then let's say you could make a move like knight to g3. If you had a knight on the board, right, that would probably win something because those pieces can't really move. So you look for pieces that are hanging, that are not defended, or maybe that aren't defended enough. Like you're attacking it once, they're defending it once, that kind of thing. It's sort of shaky. You look for things that can't move. And then you can also start looking for like spots that are geometrically connected to the other weak spots. So for example, in the last game, it was that last puzzle. It was that f7 spot. You saw that it would be connected to the queen and the king if the king stepped over, right? So you knew your knight was in touch with that spot. So basically, this position here, another example would be, like looking at it, I would notice that the black king is on an open back rank. So that would be one of the elements I'd be thinking about. I'd be thinking, open back rank, right? Another example, something like that would be, look at the black king and rook. They're arranged the way a bishop moves. Look at the white king and rook. My mistake. The white king and rook, the one on next to the king.
Oh, yeah.
They're arranged the way a bishop moves. Like last position, you had a king and queen sort of arranged the way a knight can move, right? So sometimes you'll notice pieces that are lined up according to the geometry of other pieces. That means those pieces might be able to take advantage of it, right? So that can be, there's all these common knight forks at f7 or c7 or f2 or c2. Those common knight forks are based on the fact that the king and rook or the queen and rook in the starting position are arranged kind of a knight hop apart from each other. So when you start looking for these things, that can help you generate extra tactical ideas.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
And so that's like one thing you can use if you've got like a feeling like there might be something, but like the very first moves you look at, you're not getting somewhere with them right away. Then just sort of like you step back, you're like, what are the weak spots? What are the angles that my pieces have at their weak spots? And see if that gives you new ideas.
Okay. Got it. Here.
Nice. So like that one, someone might notice that there's bishop g5 in the starting position trying to win the rook, or someone might notice that there's queen e1 trying to back rank checkmate. But if you put the two ideas together, then you get like a full checkmate instead of just trying to win a rook or just giving a check or something like that, right? So that's
True.
very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Bowen Diplôme. Cash is in a group of 8 students, all between 800 and 1200 as of some particular date in August, late August. And they're allowed to cross 1200 during the competition, but they're all going to battle each other at the end. And the top couple students will be in the 11 to 1200 range. And then there will be probably a couple students who are still in the 1000 range. And he'll play all the other students once. So it'll be a 7-round tournament for him.
Yeah, I wonder how those are going to get spaced out. It seems like it's going to get a little exhausting.
Yeah.
Let's see. What am I looking at here? Here. Attack queen. Maybe. Here. Where does... I don't know about this one.
Okay.
Here. No. Okay.
A good thing you did earlier was when you hit like a minute without having a good idea, you just clicked on the hint. That's perfectly reasonable. I think it's really good to do after a minute so we don't spend too much time on one puzzle. You can also make a guess if you want at a minute, and that was a good guess or whatever.
Okay.
So the issue on that one was when you play knight a4, the queen actually had no safe square to keep the bishop defended. That's why knight a4 was so good in that last
Okay,
puzzle.
okay. God. Maybe here. You move here. I move here. And then we're good. Okay. Okay, I'm about to promote, but the bishop takes, so I don't really, not sure if I want to do that yet. I could block here. Yeah, I block bishop first, and then take, and then good. There's a rook here, but I also go here, and then what? A rook here, down here. Here and here. I think I like the rook better. Wait. Fortunately, once I go here, you don't have a strong follow-up. Okay.
So this is an excellent puzzle, because I think most people would go for the rook here. But the interesting thing to notice is that black's king is in a lot of danger, right? Because white's threatening to take on b7 with checkmate. And so if you want to go for the rook, you have to have a plan in mind for either how are you then going to get back and defend against checkmate on b7, or how are you going to keep chasing down the white king after you get the rook.
Gotcha. So the next idea would be check here, you move here, maybe check again here. Here. Let's see. And I want to get in the habit of thinking it all through before I make the move, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally.
Here. Checks. Moves. Check again. Or I could go check here again. Right? If I go check here again, where do you go? Nowhere, right? Check. Check. You take? No, I think that's it. Boom. Boom. Okay, well. And then boom.
Nice.
All right.
Pause here before you hit the next one.
Yep.
So that was also a new pattern for you, because on the first try you went for queen a1 and you didn't immediately know how this queen and knight can work together. It's a very specific pattern, how like the queen checks, the knight follows, and the king can't quite get far enough away. The knight not only checked the king, but it supported that second queen move. So that's like a cool set pattern. So here you'll want to play through that like 3 times before you move on.
Okay, let's see. Boom, boom. Nice.
Righto. And now, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, you were asking about you should think it all the way through before going in the puzzle, right? To some extent, yes. There's some exceptions in a tournament game. Sometimes it's really important to think through your next moves if you've got 2 or 3 options and it's going to be really committal. Sometimes you might think there's only really one move that you can play, and then your opponent's going to think. So sometimes you want to play the first move, and then you can think about the follow-up where they're thinking. You see what I mean? So there's slightly different situations. Depends on if you feel like you've got multiple choices or not often. If you've got multiple choices and it's a key move, that's when you want to try and look ahead. If you've only got one choice, then you often want to play quickly, let your opponent stew while you figure out what's coming up next.
Got it. Okay.
It can depend a little bit there. Basically, David, there's no possible way for them to find 8 people who are exactly the same, right? They're always going to be somebody who's a little bit better, a little bit worse, a little more experienced in this format or that format. So basically, they allowed the players to be somewhat different because they had to. There was no way around it. Now, they gave the coaches, first through 8th pick in different groups. So every coach got to have like some picks where they picked earlier and some picks where they picked later. So it sort of like balances out at the coach level like that. And the way they score the competition is they average kind of the scores of all 4 of your students, so to speak. So if one of your students finishes 2nd or 3rd in a group of 8, that's actually a very good result, right? Because you don't need to win each group.
Oh, what?
In fact, you can probably win without winning any groups. Just by having a bunch of students who get 2nd through 4th.
Why is this incorrect? So watch, what I did the first time was here, and then I moved queen to c4.
Right.
Why is that bad?
So that's going to give them 2 options. One is they block with the rook. Right? And then you don't quite have a way to checkmate them because the rook's defended enough and the king gets a free square on f2.
Okay, got it.
The trick of this puzzle is you kind of, by checking on f1, you force the king out under the rook. And then when you check with that distant angle from your queen, their king can't go up to f2 or anything. So they get kind of fake back rank mated. Or I guess truly back rank mated. But I mean using their rook instead of a pawn for part of the back rank.
Let me think this through. Takes here, then where? So takes here. And I just go check. You move here, then here. I don't like that. There's something. Yeah. Then maybe just win queen here.
Nice. These puzzles seem really, really appropriate for you. You're getting a good workout. You're seeing some new angles and things, but you're also getting like a good number of them correct. Feels really good to me. What's happening here?
Yeah, solid. You want me to keep going?
Sure. Yeah, we can
All
do
right.
a bit more.
Hmm. Let's look. Let's look. Why not this? And then I win. Yeah, okay, I do this and I win this. Here. Hold up. Why not just here, here? Then what happens? Why not here? Protect this. And then where do you go? Nowhere. Uh, this versus this. Okay, so if I do this, you run, I check and I lose, right? But I could just take this, no? Hmm. So here, here, and then here, then where? I think that's good. Good.
Nice. So I don't know if you recognize it, but this pattern here at the end is similar to that Queen E3 check, a puzzle a few puzzles ago that we didn't get right. Where I was like, oh, if we could, we'd go back through it 2 or 3 times just to see how the queen checkmates the king against his own pieces. And this is a similar thing. Very tricky puzzle.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that one. Right. Let's see. Um, here, where do you go? Well, hold on. Let's see for a second. I go here. You take the. Maybe I don't want to do that. So down here. You go here. Then I push pawn. What would that do? So here, here. Right? And then. Boom. Bam. I'm overthinking this one. Or if I could just, what if I went here first and just did this? But I feel like they need to be like, that's another thing. It's like a lot of these need to be forcing moves, right? And I feel hesitant to ever do something like this pawn push first.
Right. Yeah, it feels a little different than in your real games, right? Because often in your real games, you have to play some setup moves, and here it's always like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, puzzles don't perfectly train you for games because in games, you never sit there thinking, like, aha, it's got to be bang, 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 right? Like, it might just be a little pawn move in a game.
Yeah.
But the good thing about it is, even if, like, the process of finding the answer is not similar to what you do in a game, it's teaching you a whole bunch of patterns that you would be able to apply in your games. Like you'll see some similar patterns, they'll come up as you're thinking. So it's still very good for your board vision and all that.
Gotcha, yeah. And I guess I see why now I would not push this, because if I push takes, that's not okay.
Right. So the reason you're forced to go bang, bang, bang in this position here is because that rook was hanging on f2, attacked by the bishop and king. So there was no time for pawn moves. It had to be sort of a bang, bang, bang.
True.
But to see how to checkmate the king on h4 is very hard. As somebody in my chat said, it's like, it's definitely a bit too deep to see all these checks in advance at an 1100 range. And I'm noticing that in general, these puzzles are starting to get pretty hard that you're doing here. I feel like you've gotten a few puzzles correct. There were sort of like maybe like 50% you figured out, 50% you guessed. Like you had like the right idea, but you couldn't have predicted everything in advance. But since you got so many of them right, it's kind of like pushed the rating of the puzzles you're seeing. And so I think you're getting really tough puzzles right now, but you know, it's working.
Yeah, sure. And my only concern with like I guess tougher puzzles is that I feel like I'm again I guess the pattern recognition is always good, but again I'm not sure how often I encounter these in the games that I'm playing in my elo.
Right.
But um, where do you go? You go here. Do I want to move up first? I go here. Check. You move here. Then here. Here. Why don't I just take first? If you do this, where do I go? If I check first, you're down here. I want to take first. And then oh, just take the roof. Wow. Oh my god. Okay. I'll check here. You go here. What? Well, let's see everything. Here, here. Why not just here? You move where? Here. Then I move here. Then that's it. So good. Okay. So boom, bam. All right. Cool. Cool.
Nice.
What are we looking at here? I mean, this looks cool, but let's see. Let's hold up a sec. Anything else? If I take, you take, I take again with a fork. But do one of your knights do something? Maybe this. I don't. Let's see. Why not this first? Can you do something here? Oh, I need to get rid of a knight first because then I won't be able to capture. Okay, I see.
Really cool.
Good, good. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to drill at least like 30 minutes a day on these.
Yeah.
Um, that's good. I definitely see it paying off in a lot of my games, so that's good.
Right. Yeah, and for those of you watching, like what you're seeing right now is like a brain changing. You're seeing Cash's brain like changing in real time. Like he's solving puzzles that he couldn't have solved, half an hour ago or a day ago. Like you just feel the board vision changing.
Here, I think I take because if you take, okay, I win a piece, right? Good.
Yes, you do. It's pretty
Okay,
cool.
I like this.
Pretty cool to see.
Boom, bam, here maybe. What happens? Am I in danger? I just take. I mean, okay, check. Don't want to block. Now, where do I move my king? That's the question. If I move here, you take the check again, so maybe just here. Good. Better? Okay, good.
Nice. So that was a puzzle, for example, where you needed to use awareness of the opponent's threats, something you asked me about earlier, right? How much should you look at your threats versus their threats, or, just checks and captures or whatever. There's a variety of positions, and basically with some experience and time, maybe you start to get a better and better sense, right, of when you have to deal with their threats or when you could just push through with yours.
True, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You can see, because he's drawing some little arrows and stuff, you can see how much faster his eyes are moving around everything than before, right, folks? You can just see it. It's like watching neural pathways form.
Okay.
Thanks for the raid, Chestopia. Sorry, I'm not necessarily familiar with your stream, so I can't give you a proper ad, but feel free to make an announcement in my chat here about what folks could expect on your stream if they wanted to click on this link and follow you. Let us know what your stream's about, what folks might enjoy or expect there. Did you get that last one, Cash? I'm sorry, I looked away.
I did, yeah.
You did again, jeez. So you found queen takes pawn, and if they block, the rook becomes undefended on c8?
I didn't look at the rook at first. What I was looking for was the... Oh, I wish I could go back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But I did see it once the rook blocked. I didn't consider the rook block as an option.
You were trying to push the king onto the file with your rook.
What's that?
You were checking to push the king onto the file with your rook, right? For hidden attacks and stuff?
Correct. Yeah, so check, and then... So my bishop was here, right? And so I went check with my queen here. And then I was assuming that they were going to move over, and then I would push my bishop back with a discovered check on the king and win the queen.
Nice. Good. Very good.
Okay. I don't want to stack here. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. So my thought process with this, so these are one of those ones where I'm not really sure what to do because it doesn't look like, well, I can't see any immediate like boom, bam, moves, whatever. But my first thought is this bishop is pinned here, and I can't take it because this pawn's in the way. So if I move my rook here, I go check here, and I take away the threat, and then I can win a bishop. Alternatively, if I was in a game, my first thought would be, oh god, this is open and it looks scary. Maybe I castle.
Maybe just get castled yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So the knight is a little bit too slow to strike at that bishop on e5, right? It's kind of far away from it. And the queen is defending the d6 pawn. So if you take out the pawn, the queen comes in and she still defends the bishop for a while. Yeah. So the key to the position was your opponent had one piece that couldn't move. It was the bishop on e5. And so looking for ways to go after it, and you found the knight b5 idea. And look at that, folks. Cash is doing the thing. He's going through the moves in extra time because he didn't get it right on the first time. So it's super good. I recommended it to Cash, but it actually applies to all of you as well. Okay, anyone out there who's like working on your tactics and puzzles, when you get a tactic or puzzle wrong, great idea to go through the moves once or twice or thrice and sort of burn a new pattern into your mind.
Here, take. Why not? If takes, take. No.
Yeah, good to see you, Matt. Although it's very late for you, but Cash is needing to spar with players between 1,000 and 1,400. So for now, you're a little bit too strong. But we're going to hook him up with some people to spar with. No problem. No problem.
Okay. Let's see. So discovered check. Yeah, I'm in danger. That's not good. But let's see.
Good. Sometimes noticing whether or not you're in danger gives you a sense of what pace you need or like what kind of a move, right? Like, am I trying to win a pawn or am I trying to win a rook, or do I need to give checkmate in the next like breath? You know?
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. What can I do with this? If I go here, you just go here, right? I don't... Why not here? Block off both these squares and then I go here. Done? I think that's good.
That's it. Cutting off the escape routes. Cutting off the escape routes. Oh, nice. You already know Cash.
What's that?
Cash, you know Houseline?
I do, yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah. Is he in your chat right now?
He's in our chat. Yeah, he works for the dojo. He's our...
Oh, cool.
He's our marketing manager or guru or director or whatever. He's our only marketing guy, so whatever word he wants to add to marketing, that's his title.
Nice. Well, how's it going, Houseline? Hopefully all well. All right. Okay, this queen seems in trouble. agree. I agree. So maybe I push this back. You push this. I take and win queen.
Woo!
Nice.
How you like
Nice.
that,
Still
Command
solid.
Pro? How you like that?
Hmm. Check here. Here. Hold. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Take. No. Here. Here. Then. Ah, geez. Okay, let's see. Here. Here. Do I want to go like here? That makes sense to me. Oh, no, I can't do that actually. No, sorry. Here. Do I just want to stack them up? Here I lose, so that's not good. Okay, yeah, all right.
Beautiful. So that was a new pattern for you, even though you got it right. And so another thing you can do is when you solve a puzzle, but you have a feel like it was really new or fresh or something for you, even if you get it right, you could go through the answer one or two more times. Or so far, I've been having you do it by like playing through the moves. You can also try and imagine it in your head. So basically, go to the starting position of the puzzle and then play through the moves from here in your head. So you go, you imagine the queen moving, the king moving, the rook coming to f8, and then you sort of see the picture. Your queen's cutting off the escape on g6, and so you're preparing to go in and checkmate on h8. And you can just sort of do that mentally once or twice, and that's another great way to just harvest the pattern. Because basically at your level, you're still seeing new patterns regularly during these tactics. Eventually, what players over 1600 are doing when they're doing tactics, they've already seen all the basic patterns, like all 10,000 of them. What they're doing now is getting better at seeing, oh, there's a possible defense, or oh, there's a wrinkle, or oh, this pattern does or doesn't work here because of this detail. So they're practicing looking, 2 or 3 moves ahead and seeing if it does or doesn't work. But you're still gathering some new patterns, so very important to like repeat them briefly when you encounter them. We're trying to record those patterns for your use further on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think my hesitancy with this, with like I guess stacking here, is because so it's not really an immediate checkmate compared to the other puzzles, and then probably I need to get in the habit of just calculating their threats as well, because I was just worried like, oh god, am I going to be in trouble here? I mean, I know I could probably check, but I take back, but still, I don't know.
Right. Are they going to have a threat or a counter, right? Because they've got a queen and a rook as well. It's an open board, so you're totally right. That's a good sense of like danger or complexity to understand there could be shots coming back at you. If you notice their queen's attacking your rook, that's a very good thing to notice. And a funny thing about how that works is if you bring your rook down, it actually means your rook will back cover the square where they could approach your king. If you had some other piece you needed to move in your attack, like if you needed to bring in a knight or a bishop, you'd be in bad shape because they'd play queen takes rook check after you bring in your other piece. But here, funnily enough, as you bring the rook into f8, aiming for h8, the rook back covers the counter check against your king, and actually they've got no other checks. But yeah, I mean, if that was the sort of the concern or the hesitancy on this one, then one thing you can do is you can go to the starting position again. You imagine in your head queen e8, king h7, rook f8, and then you try to hold on to that position in your head, whether you do that visually or some other way, but you try and imagine that position and you look for moves for your opponent once you've created that position for yourself. So you ask yourself, can either of their pieces capture my queen or rook? And you just look. No, they can't. Like, we're on the 8th rank. They're not on the 8th rank, right? Then you say, what checks do they have? And you just try and see, okay, their queen can't get to c1 because there's a pawn on c2. The only check is actually on f1. Okay, I'm covering that. So you can try and like imagine a position. This is more like a thing that comes up at like 15, 1600 where they're doing more complicated tactics, like what I was just referring to, where there could be like a reason it doesn't work or a detail here or there. But you're starting to do that work of like you imagine a pattern and then you try and ask yourself, is there any problem there, right? Is there any defense or resource, any counter check, any counter capture, something like that?
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
All right, so this is going super. And I think we can probably stop tactics here for the moment. So that was like a good, solid session. Probably a little bit longer than what you would normally do without me, but I was interrupting you a little bit to chat here and there. So I think that's like a pretty good session. The number of puzzles you solved in the amount of time was great. We got to see some new patterns, which was great. You got a bunch of things right, which is also great. It's good to have a mix. And yeah, you were stopping somewhere around a minute or so to check for hints or something instead of spinning out and wasting all your time on one puzzle. On your own, you were starting to repeat the moves of new patterns to rub them in or whatever. It's really, really good. It's operating like clockwork. So I think you just keep trucking along like that. If you can get in 30 minutes every day, you're pretty much set. If you want to sometimes do 45 minutes, that'll be fine too. And we're good. We're just good. Do you have any questions about anything that came up in this stretch here?
No, I think all good.
Okay. I'm thinking of sending you a video that you can watch on your own sometime in the next week. That's about sort of the idea of looking at the tactical weak spots in your opponent's camp. So it just sort of like goes through like hanging pieces, trapped pieces, stuff like that. Do you think that would be something that you would want to do?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we'll try that then. I'll send you the video.
Okay.
And maybe let's play some chess now. The one problem with doing like 8 hours of coaching in a day is like it makes you really want to play some chess games yourself, you know? Yeah. It's like it's hard to watch the pieces move that much and never move them yourself. I'm like, yeah, we've done some tactics. Now let's play some games. And I'm like imagining I'm playing some games, you know?
You mind if I use the restroom real quick before we start up?
No. Sounds better than losing it on stream. All right, chat. It's your chance to ask not unrelated questions, including Cash's chat. I see y'all too, so you can ask me your questions. Twitch, YouTube, other Twitch. It's your chance to go off topic for a second. Sometimes I'm working with a student and people come in and they ask me like super complicated off-topic questions. I mean, they're still chess questions, you know, and I love chess players and I want to answer everything, but can you also see that video? Sure. Yeah, he's come a long way, Blue Up, for sure. This is less than a full year of work for Cash so far to get to the spot that he's at. I think he's got something like 10 months under his belt, so it is a long way. At what rating should one start listening to Diggable Planets? It sounds like you've already listened to Diggable Planets. What got me interested in chess? I was like a little kid when I first like played a little bit with my brother, and I immediately loved it. So I think I liked the idea that you're kind of solving puzzles at every move. Not just like these tactical puzzles that we were just doing, but in the sense of like, you know, you're figuring out what's the best square for my knight. That's a little puzzle, right? You solve it, you bring your knight out. And then you're like, okay, which piece should be coming out next? Or should I be castling or attacking? And just answering like a long series of little puzzles like that, that I really liked. Okay. I'll probably get myself in Moobot trouble if I send this link to Cash's chat, but Cash, I'm going to send you a link to the video. Some people in chat said they might want it also. So that's
Okay, gotcha.
the video
Get on the Zoom here.
I'm recommending. Maybe it was too advanced for you. I bet you're all right, Gefilte Fish. I bet you're all right. Magurio, I rarely train by specific theme. Yeah, I almost always want... Also, the more advanced you are, the more it makes sense. You want to train with as few hints as possible. Like, I prefer a set of puzzles where I don't even know if each puzzle is tactical versus positional. Like, some of the positions might be based on a specific tactical sequence and some might be... But that's, I'm at a relatively higher level when I'm training. So I think that the reason you might use a specific theme is just if you know already that you have a certain weakness. Like, you're just bad at seeing how the knight hops, or you're bad at, finding undefended pieces or something like that. And then you can pick the theme and work on it for a while. But you're always going to have to then take off the theme and come back around to doing random puzzles and seeing if you actually see your weak theme when you're not cued for it, not primed for it. Sorry. Oh, sorry to my Twitch for not giving you the weakness. Not giving you the video. I thought.
All right, you want me to start up a game?
Yeah, so you can stop the screen share and I'll just watch you on my normal thing here.
Gotcha. Stop share and I'll just disconnect the account in general.
All right, and so folks, in any of the chats, if you want to practice a little bit here with Cash, or maybe you don't even want to practice, you just want to help him practice, we're looking for anyone between 1,000 and 1,400 in the chess.com rapid ratings.
Thank you, Cross. All right, I am going to... Should I go ahead and start up? 10-2 here?
Yeah, 10 plus 2 is the time control for anyone who wants to play with Cash. And I will also send a link to his profile in case that...
I'll do plus minus 200, unrated, and 10-2, and I'll start the game here. 10-2, and I'll start the game
here. Okay.
Do you recommend I have a specific opening for black? Because right now all I'm kind of doing is my E4 developing and just based on the situation. But do you recommend like a Hero Khan or something? I don't know.
I mean, the basic would be to get a pawn into the center.
Yeah.
And then bring out pieces. If you want to, if there's anything you prefer over other things, we could get a little deeper into an opening if you like.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I mean that's kind of just what I've been doing: pawn in the center, and then just bringing out my pieces. But I don't have a set real like structure as opposed to like maybe Hero Khan or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think if there's anything that you prefer over other things, we can try and improve on it a little bit together. We can just basically talk about the opening phase after a game is done. We can just say, here you had a good position, here you had a bad position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I've been noticing a lot of my development as black, especially like D4, D5,
Mm-hmm.
Is very like compressed. I would say like
Mm-hmm.
I get kind of I don't know the proper terminology for it, but my pieces don't get as developed
Right.
as maybe E4, E5, or me playing white in general.
Yeah, a lot of D4 players are going to be trying to take more space. They're going to be trying to get a small strategic advantage, which is called a space advantage, and so you're going to feel a little bit constricted, perhaps. That's part of the territory of dealing with D4 players. And since you yourself are an E4 player and you play against more E4 players than D4 players, at first you're going to have more trouble playing against D4. You don't have as much experience. And I can maybe show you one little trick about that, because I do remember the last D4 game I saw you play, and you did have that little bit of cramp to it. So, yeah, I definitely have a tip to give you there.
Okay, awesome. Also, is my mic sounding very muffled to you?
It sounds fine to me, but somebody in your chat is saying it's coming out
Gotcha,
not
gotcha.
loud enough
Just checking.
on your OBS maybe.
Do you think I should increase the rating range here?
No, we'll find somebody in a minute or two. We're not in a rush. No panic. No panic.
C6 versus everything theory solved.
Yeah, Alvin, you're too strong for our purposes here today, so thank you for being available and thank you for training Martin a few times. So I appreciate that.
Oh, one question I did have while we're waiting. I had sent an email about it, about the like a pin with the. Let me pull up the position. Taking notes here. Taking notes. So I'll send this picture in. Copy this. I'll send it in the Zoom chat. Whenever I left the Zoom chat. But essentially, when my knight is when my queen is pinned by a bishop on, let's say like. What is this? I can't even see the picture here. I'm playing black, and then a bishop goes to h6.
Yeah.
Or sorry, yeah, whatever it does to pin me. Is it ever worth to push up my pawn to, what is this, g5 to kick out that bishop, and then castle queenside rather than castling kingside?
Yeah. Very often, yeah, people do end up playing g5 in those positions. With the pawn to block out that bishop. I will tell you, if white had a knight on c3, you have a pawn on c3 in the position that you first sent me, right? If white has a knight on c3, then you're almost more obligated to play g5 because white can play knight d5 otherwise, and the pressure is too much against f6. With the pawn on c3, you don't have to play g5. Because they don't necessarily have a follow-up for the bishop's pressure. Right? So in those positions that you have with the pawn on c3, it's a little bit more of a choice for you. Like, you can play g5 if you want to, but you're not forced to so much. And if you play g5... then yeah, it might be nice to castle queenside. Sometimes people play g5 and even castle kingside. And they say, I've got a lot of space here. I'm going to, put a lot of pieces around my king as well and sort of be strong in that area where you have the advanced pawn and your king.
Gotcha. Okay. And then when I do castle queenside, so usually when I'm castling kingside, I'll kick up my h-pawn to h3 just to give my king some breathing room so I don't get back ring. When I castle queenside, is there an equivalent of that? Like, should I move my king over to maybe b1?
You can. It depends on how much time you have in the position, right? Like, do you have time for some small improving moves, or is there like major fighting going on already? Right? Same with h6 on the king side, by the way, right? Like h6, if pieces are threatening each other in the center of the board, you don't have time for h6, right? And h6 becomes more important as you get closer to a position where you could get back rank mated, right? Like, there's some open files, maybe some pieces traded, so you're starting to have a real danger of a rook coming down. But like around move 5 or 6 of a game, there's no danger of a back rank mate, right? So moves like h6 or g6 or whatever, those little pawn moves tend to weaken your king from anybody coming towards them from in front. So those are often moves you see more around the transition between middle game and end game.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, and I did get in the game here. So,
okay, let's get in it.
We'll lock in and play it.
Right on. Yeah, so this is the thing we're going to tell Cash about between games is like he's not going to be able to get space with this. At least he got his bishop out, so that's going to help him compared to last time. But in the king pawn openings, it's normal to block this pawn. In the queen pawn openings, you normally use this pawn to support your center or attack the opponent's center. So here this theme comes in. This is where you got in trouble in a previous opening. Good developing move, dealing with knight e5 potentially. And now he can get himself castled if he wants to. So he's like escaping the opening, but we can make it a lot better just by telling him that this knight c6 is not as good as on king pawn openings. I wanted to tell him before the game, but without a board set up to tell him, I wasn't sure about like trying to explain it blindfolded.
Go. But let's just do that. Okay. All right. Chill.
And there's another one. Both sides have very solid positions this game.
You're here, you're here. Here. Here, then what? Bad. Maybe not. But here, here. What does this do? Takes, and lose. So no. Here, bad.
The greatest danger that Cash is in this position, but there's no way that, players at a 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 range are going to really be keyed into it. But the biggest danger is that this piece doesn't have a lot of places to go, and like at some point white could try to trap it with g4. That's sort of the...
Okay.
Right, he appreciates
Not a fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Not a fan of that.
Pretty good move there by Blunder God. Dang good move. Noticing this uncomfortable spot. Yeah. Nice move.
Now, what if I...
Oh, Far Eastern, you mean you can see that the bishop on h3 is kind of the major concern for black?
Maybe I should have gone back. I don't know.
Huh, that's cool. Maybe I misestimated then. Streaming does tend to take away a bunch of points, but Cash has followed my advice, Charlie, and he's often...
I'm going to put on some music.
He's often focusing on his games and not really explaining things to his chat during his games now. He's often like fully focusing.
Okay. What's this doing? What are you doing with all this? I gotta move this guy. Maybe I kick, man. What's the bad if I... What's the harm if I kick? Takes, then what? Here, bad, right? Not really. Why not here? But where do I go? Here? Let's ball out.
Nice. Balling out. Balling out.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, brilliant combination.
Yeah, okay.
Good Lord.
I shouldn't review right now.
No, you can't review yet. Holy Blunder God.
I should have got this guy out of there.
Playing very quickly and powerfully and confidently. Whew. This is my day job, Alvin. Chess Dojo. I have a morning, evening,
that's a
and weekend
pawn,
job.
but what does it do? You can take this then. I don't like that.
I spend more time taking care of the
Maybe
kids.
I want to get my queen up in here. Like, where do I go? Push, takes, then what? Maybe just back. What about here? Push, takes. Nope.
Oh, pupsy pop.
Maybe.
Pupsy pop.
Kind of.
Good move. Queen f6.
Protects.
Hey, Mark.
But then you go here, so not good. Maybe here first.
Defending the pawn. Nice move again. Blunder God has played a very good game so far with 0 blunders, notably.
I want this. But this... You gotta push the pawns here.
All right, active move. Looking to activate the last black piece. Get into the game. As soon as white played b4, I started thinking about, is there a moment where black wants to play a5? Right? That was like right here. b4. I was thinking about a5 when he went for knight e4. I was also thinking about bishop f5 because I was pretty worried about this piece. Right? Boom, that poor piece.
I don't really want to be trading right now. Here maybe, but then
But a
what?
pawn trade is okay, but now he's got two options to come down with the
Here,
rook.
here.
I guess he's looking at him.
Let's go here, maybe here, then here, and in which case, no. I probably should have.
I think he was having
Don't
a
like
tough
that.
time choosing which
But I
rook
think
attack to
maybe
go for.
okay. Take here, here. I got 2 minutes. Oh my god. Let's go.
Solid. Notice the clock. Made the right choice to kill a pawn rather than trading rooks. He saw that his king could hide.
If here and here, bad. If here, okay.
Yep. Hiding is better than coming out. So true.
As long as this is here. Bad.
Now he's got this move here.
Okay.
Very powerful. Might also look at this. But the queen's
Here,
much
not
more
here.
powerful.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
Oh, he
Here,
did it.
here.
Oh, man. That's powerful.
Okay. I mean, I could win rook here, right? But this is in danger, so maybe I go here then here first, right?
Crazily
And that
enough,
way.
rook
Ooh,
g3
wait,
is
wait,
the
wait,
fastest
wait. Give me a
checkmate.
second. Give me a second here. Hold up. Hook. Hook here
Yeah,
for a
this
second.
is good enough.
Hook. Okay. Well, hold the line. And then, wait. Give me a sec. What if I sack? No, I'm in danger here, though. Not really. Now I take with check. Where do you go?
Yeah,
Take with
Farty's
check down here.
Now
And then
we're
just
like
back mate, right?
now we're back to all
No,
that puzzle training
dude, I
from
got
before.
it. Watch. Boom. Bam.
Does he see rook g3
Bing.
coming?
No, go.
Oh, he mouse
Okay,
slipped?
we're not doing that during the game. I'm sorry. Okay, I should not have done that. So I got way too
Oh,
overconfident
he
there. I thought it was
pre-moved
cool.
because he thought
I'm
White was
sorry.
going back to h1. Oh. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was unfortunate.
I think I have to go. If I go here, that's mate, right? I have to go here, but then you just push down. All right.
So that was a pre-move, huh, Cash?
I was feeling it.
Yeah.
It looked cool. I'm like, oh god, I didn't see the escape square, and so, yeah. During a real game, we're not gonna do that. No, but the time kind of. I'll blame it on the time there, putting some pressure on me.
Yeah. Okay, super cool. I mean, it's so good. Every single one of these games we play, it's like a learning experience. It's a mistake that we don't have to make down the road. All good. I'm gonna have to run to pick up my kid, so I want to teach you two things real quick from this game. Okay?
Yep.
So the first one is going to be, we're going to do the shorter one first and then the longer one. So just back up a few moves on the game to move 30. You play queen f2 check, and
Move 30.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, also announcement, folks. Kostya will be streaming after me. Yeah. So folks, you don't have to prepare to go just because I'm preparing to go. So you play queen f2 check, and if your opponent went to h1, you had the checkmate on c1, right? But your opponent went.
Yep.
But your opponent went up 31 king h3. All right.
Yep.
What should you do next if we didn't already have a pre-move on the books?
So this is just like those puzzles with the king thing. I would sack my rook, maybe. No, wait, hold. Yeah, I would. Okay, well, my first thought would be sack rook. I would hope that they take, and then I just move queen here with mate.
Yep. Yeah. You
Yeah.
were in a bing bang boom situation there.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
You were
I got
feeling it.
overconfident there.
You were feeling it, and you were right. So your instinct was right that you were ready to get that king, right? Ready to get him. I'll show you one other thing that you might enjoy. So check this out. This is what you did was like perfectly good, but now go to the position after move 28, queen e6 check. Oh, sorry, it's not even check.
Yeah.
Just 28, queen takes e6. Okay. Play the move rook takes g3 check on the board there for yourself.
So rook takes g3 check. After the queen moves here, their queen goes to e6.
Yeah.
Check here. They take. And then same thing. Oh, I see.
And if they take, you check them into the corner and then finish with the knight.
Gotcha. Nice. Yeah. Solid. Okay. Yeah.
I know you like a sacrifice and a checkmate here or there, so I just thought I would entertain you with that one.
Yeah.
The move order you played was also forced checkmate, perfectly good. And yeah, that's nice. Now let's talk about d4 openings. Okay, so that was all very beautiful, but the d4 opening, it struck again, right? That you like didn't quite get the position you wanted. It was better than last time because you had room for most of your pieces, but not the rooks, right? But all your minor pieces got out to good squares. You survived the opening. Everything was fine. But the main thing I want to teach you about these queen pawn openings is that already your second move is not quite right. This knight move. In the queen pawn openings, you often need your c pawn, your queen bishop pawn, to join the game to fight for space. Either going to c5 to attack their pawn or going to c6 to defend yours. So you're used to sort of the e4 Italian games where people bring out all their knights. But here you're going to want to leave the knight on b8 at first and try and use your c pawn a lot of the time.
Okay.
So you could play c5 and then put your knight on c6.
c5. Oh, sorry. Whoops. c5. And then let's see. I don't know. They do this. 6. Okay.
Yeah.
But how do I recover this pawn if they take?
If they take it on the very first moment. So there's a couple different ways it can be recovered. One is queen a5 check, queen takes c5.
I see.
But another one that people like to use is like they like to bring out the bishop on f8 instead of their queen. So a lot of times you'll see people play a move like knight c6, threatening e5. They want to kick that bishop away and then capture on c5 with their bishop.
I see. Okay, yeah, if they do attack, then here. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's another idea.
Okay.
If you like flip it around to the king pawn openings, you see less of people moving their f pawn, right? In the e4, e5 openings, people don't play f3, f4 as much because it weakens the king, and then there's like opening disasters with queen h4 or whatever. But on the queen pawn side, you can often use that c pawn to back up your d pawn or to attack your opponent's d pawn, and that'll give you that extra breathing room and range to move your pieces.
Got it. Okay.
So you can start experimenting with that a little bit. Obviously, I could give you more detail, but just a start to know that you can maybe use that pawn.
Okay. Yeah, good. No, I'll practice that today.
Yeah. All right, folks. If anyone wants to keep playing with Cash, he might be around a little bit longer, and I'm going to give him another shout out so people can find him here.
Yeah, I'll be streaming y'all. If y'all want to send some games, some 10-2 games, let's run it.
Yeah, so there you go, folks. Here's a link so you can follow him. He's on there if anyone wants to play him 10-2. He's warmed up and ready to go. And I'm also, Kostya will be coming on Chess Dojo. So, yeah. So for those of you who want to hang out with Kostya, stick around. And here he is. He's going to take over on our stream. Cash, have a great evening.
Thank you. Appreciate it, as always.
I'll send you an email, and we'll probably meet up on Monday.
All right, perfect.